Brian and I really, I can't believe where we've come. You know, how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. From the El Camino days, we literally bumped into each other. We're walking, I'm going off to chemistry class, right, and he's going off to music class, and we go, we hit right in the middle. We go, oh, Brian, hey, what do you, let's get together. Okay. It was just like that. It was so easy.
And that was the start of
And then who's
one of
this
the
guy?
biggest bands in history. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was so easy, you know, and it just fell into place, just boom, boom, boom. Of course, he didn't know himself how, at that time, how he would grow. It's interesting because you don't know because you're inside the experience, so you don't know. There's no way to know. You just take it one step at a time, right? And so we'd build. But geez, we started to go beyond, way beyond, even where radio could understand it. I mean, the listeners, we got ahead of the listeners was where we made our mistake. Yeah. We got way beyond the listeners. And so they had to kind of back up and find us. Or did I say that right? They had to catch up. I'm sorry. They had to catch up and find us. And that's why it took 30 years. 30 years to get to Pet Sounds.
Mm.
Carl and I were the links in the middle. Brian on top, Mike in the bottom. So you had this fabric. Can you believe that's only 4 voices? That's the thing I can't even believe
Dennis
myself.
didn't sing on it at all?
Well, not on this one, I don't believe. How do we do that? I can't even figure it out. Very smooth. I'll tell you one thing, it's the Capitol Echo Chambers. That's what makes it so smooth. They have these beautiful underground chambers in the parking lot. Underneath the parking where they park. And they're different shapes and sizes. And they all have different delay times. The microphones inside are set at different distances. And each one has its own characteristic. And this one is built for vocals. You know, Frank Sinatra used this chamber. Louis Armstrong, that guy up there probably, on the wall there. You know, this beautiful, long delay. It's just a natural delay. Acoustic delay. Today they use we use these things here. It's a digital delay, which is very good. But it won't be as smooth as that, you know? You know, the Lexicon digital. God. Evil was hard. I remember trying to come down to evil at the same time. A hard vowel like that. Or is that a vowel consonant? Is the kingdom and the power. And Brian was conducting it. And the glory. You know, he had to have a conductor. See the verse? That damn B every time. Almost flat. Beautiful. The Beach Boys bought me my first Thunderbird, my first real car, my first suit. Everything I ever had of any material value really came from those early years with the Beach Boys, because my family was pretty modest. We had a modest upbringing and a very, you know, my father was a technical man, you know, person who ran a blueprint company. Mm-hmm. So we weren't wealthy in any way, by any means. So I had my first hot rod. I thought it was a hot rod, but it wasn't. It was really quite an expensive little toy is what it was. The T-Bird that we sang about in the song was the little coupe, was the little one.
Yeah.
I had this big, you know, the 1964 they came out with a big, beautiful, square-looking thing, and it was beautiful. And
We bought one just before we were married, remember?
yeah, we almost did.
We did buy it.
We did? Carl had a big Pontiac. He bought a big Grand Am Pontiac, and we used to race our cars up and down the street. And it was just kind of fun. Most of our influences came from Capitol Records. The Four Freshmen, the Kingston Trio, the Letterman. All those groups were on the label before we got there. So here we are emulating them again, right? Some of their harmonies, and they wanted to sell records. And but then, you know, that's normal. I can understand that. And that's why Pet Sounds got the big boot. You know, we call it the get out of here with that and make me a party album. So they forced us back into the studio to do a party album.
Yeah.
They said, just do something we can sell. And we're going, well, okay. And like idiots, we went in and cut, quote, the party album with Barbara Ann. An afterthought, literally just, I mean, it took us 3 minutes to do it. Right? It took us 6 months to do Good Vibrations and 3 minutes to do Barbara Ann. And it was number one. All the families were on that record. We all came down and sang together on it. And, I guess, let me think about that. I think maybe we had them come in afterwards for party noises. You know, I think the actual band played the first day. Dean Torrance walks in. He's from a band called Jan and Dean. And they actually were very big here, very huge band.
Before you.
And before us, and they actually,
Surf City.
oh, I'm cold, huh? They actually inspired us in high school, when we were in high school, with their music, and then Mike Love actually patterned his baritone voice after Jan Berry. Anyway, so Dean comes in and sings this high part on Barbara Ann with Brian, and walks out. 3 minutes later, it's like, it's done and we're on to something else, and it's the #1 record in the country. I mean, and it destroyed Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
They just yanked it off the charts, and then we had a big album. And it's funny, isn't it? But 30 years later, or whatever it is, 35 years later, here comes Pet Sounds again to pay off big time, big dividends. So in a way, we were planting seeds that we didn't even know about then. Isn't that wild? All that hard work kind of paid off. It just took a while. And here we are in the meantime going through all these stages of growth and then kind of almost evolving and de-evolving, and then this thing happens. And did you read the paper yesterday? Did you find that the article
USA Today.
in USA Today that it's now the #2 album of all time or something?
Time will not wait for me. Time is my destiny. Why change the part of me that has to be free?
I think Carney sings this in concert now, in our band. Yeah, Carney Wilson. That's her dad right there. Isn't that wild?
But now each day is filled with love.
She does a real nice job on that. That's her. That's one of her favorites. And I think I sing this break here. Oh, sure I do.
I can break away from that crazy life.
Hi, baby.
And I can do what I want to do. And break away from that empty life where my world is blue. When I lay down on my bed, I heard voices.
Now that's Carl there. That's Carl, Brian's brother. See, Brian did the first verse. I did the chorus. Carl did the second. We used to share the leads a lot. You know?
Hard to tell the difference between the voices.
Yeah,
Your voices are
he and
very
his brother had very similar voices. Yeah. Well, we were trying to go away from that surfing lead sound that the Mike Love thing had. And this Mike here, now he did a good job here, I thought. Mike has a very nice baritone. Then it goes back to me here. Listen to the backgrounds here. It's very strange. Half speed. The backgrounds are at half speed. An octave lower, I think. No. And I don't know how we did that. I still. We slowed down the. It was 30 IPS maybe, so you play them back at 15 IPS,
Yeah.
and then you sing to that, and you bring it all back at 30.
So it's,
I don't know how that works, but somehow the backgrounds ended up at 15 IPS, and we were at 30 IPS.
so you fiddled around with the material like the Beatles did
Yeah.
for Sgt. Pepper. And
Yeah, a lot of it was interesting. It was very subtle.